Hello, all sentient beings, and welcome to the Transmissions Podcast, where we talk all Hasbro, Takara, and third-party Transformers! On this episode of Transmissions, Shockwave Lab reveals their upgrade for Studio Series Shockwave. Newage Toys has a black Starscream in the works, and Hasbro's CEO talks about the state of their factories in China. Today is Wednesday, April 1st, 2020, and this is episode 375 of Transmissions.
Welcome to Transmissions, the podcast that's been social distancing since 2013. I'm your host, Charles, aka Big C, and I'm joined by the excellent Transmissions team. Jeremy, aka Yakko.
Hey, how's it going?
And Daryl, the Cybertronian Beast.
Hey, how's everybody doing tonight? Let's talk Transformers.
All right, and as always, we start off by thanking our Donatreons, those lovely people who give us money on Patreon and PayPal. And we give a special shout out this week. This one's a little bit overdue because it came at the beginning of March. A good friend of the show, Tom Proscia, sent another yearly contribution to the podcast. He every year he sends in a very sizable donation to cover his support for the whole year. So Tom, thank you so much for continuing to do that. And we really appreciate you. And thank you for continuing to support us. You're amazing and awesome.
I got to meet him at New York Comic Con. He's an awesome guy.
Nice. And also another shout out to longtime supporter Dinobot Maximize, who actually increased his monthly donation this month. So thanks, Dinobot. In the midst of this global crisis, we appreciate you sending a little bit more support our way. Although we wouldn't be we wouldn't mind if you if you had other priorities, but we still appreciate it. So thank you. And if anyone would like to become a supporter and they're not already, just go to transmissionspodcast.com/support. And that's where all the links are for signing up to become a Donatreon. You can also support us by buying some merchandise at our TeePublic store, and that is at transmissionspodcast.com/shop. And we recently put up a few new t-shirt designs, so you can check those out. In particular, our good guy and bad guy shirts that look passingly similar to the Autobot and Decepticon symbols, designed by Daryl, rendered by K-Girl, our artist friend. And she has her store at teepublic.com/user/superstark. So you should check out her designs as well. We also have a new shirt with a new Transmissions logo in the style of Transformers Armada that was designed by Jeremy. So check those out.
Technically, it's in the style of Real West in the Skies 2001. That came before Armada.
Fair enough.
And I prefer it to Armada. But yeah, they used that design for a while.
And we've also this week we've also got episode 20 of Empire of Rust, the Transformers RPG live action podcast. Episode 20 is throbbing with Antissa and should already be out in your feed, in your podcast feed. If not, just go to transmissionspodcast.com/rust and you can get all the episodes for Empire of Rust there. We've also got a special side story, Empire of Rust, that is exclusive to Donatrons, and part 3 of that story, A Hell by Any Other Name, is also out this Monday. So you should also see that. If you are a Transmissions Donatron, you should have access to that. So that is the conclusion of A Hell by Any Other Name, starring myself and Jeremy as new characters in the Empire of Rust universe. Also, we have Adam Echu, who is Sweet Spot in the main Empire of Rust story, but in this series, he played a different character, Professor Sprocket. And of course, these are all run and written and designed by our producer, Mike Ordway. So check out Empire of Rust and the Donatron special if you are a Donatron. So another perk of being a Transmissions Donatron is that you are automatically entered into our Toy Hacks $10 gift code monthly drawing. Again, this is not exclusive to Donatrons, but if you are not a Donatron, you got to send us an entry to contest@transmissionspodcast.com when you want to enter for that month, and send us a picture of a Transformers toy you would like to get some stickers for. But all our Donatrons just get automatically entered. And if you're at the higher tier level, above the $10 level for a Donatron, you get 2 entries into the contest every month. So lots of chances for people to win. And we're going to do that drawing right now. So Jeremy, is your lovely assistant ready?
Computer, are you ready?
I'm ready when you are.
All right, Jeremy, if you could get us a random number between 1 and 85.
Computer, give me a random number between 1 and 85.
Your random number between 1 and 85 is 17.
17? Oh, John 4X Levin Good.
What?
Long time voicemail giver and Transmissions Donatron.
You left us a voicemail that I didn't see in the drive for this episode, so I was actually working on that right now.
Oh, sorry, I forgot to put that in the show notes.
I wasn't putting blame on anybody, Charles.
But we will get it. Jeremy's been working diligently, and we will have that feedback. Although I think it's alt mode feedback, so we'll have it in alt mode. But yeah, congratulations, John.
Congratulations.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully you got some stickers you can get for some of your Transformers figures.
Mm-hmm. I'll send us some feedback.
And as always, we want to see pictures of whatever you get stickered up.
Definitely. All right. Well, let's get right into the show and talk about some toys.
All right. First up this week, I'm going to talk about an add-on for Studio Series 56 Shockwave. That's the Dark of the Moon Shockwave, and the add-on kit is from Shockwave Lab. So coincidentally, the same name, maybe? I don't think so, but whatever. And it's the arm blade for that figure, and it's a fairly small add-on, and it's basically just a piece of, looks like a piece of metal actually, that has a little bit of plastic on the end of it. It just gets attached to the Shockwave figure on his arm, and just adds a little bit of pizzazz to that figure. These are Shockwave Lab has been producing these small little add-ons for a little while now, and they don't cost a whole heck of a lot, but they're not big, but they do add a little bit extra to your figure. So if you really like that Shockwave from Dark of the Moon, the Studio Series version, maybe you want to get it. There is another piece that you could add to it. It's the Shockwave Lab SL70, and it's the blaster kit. So it's a completely another kit, and it actually will. It's a bit bigger, but it's got an LED in it, and it's going to give you the the cannon on his other arm, and will add a little bit more to it. Probably make the figure a lot more dynamic. So with both of these kits, that Dark of the Moon Studio Series Shockwave is going to be really cool looking. So if that's something you're interested in, take a look at these two add-ons from Shockwave Lab. None of the sites like TF Source or Big Bad Toy Store or anybody like that, they don't seem to stock Shockwave Lab. But the only other place I've been able to actually find them is eBay. So if you're actually looking for something like this, check eBay. That seems to be where they sell them. Up next is my other topic, and it's something we've seen a lot before, and this is in-hand images of MP10 DC. That's the Atmos duck camo version of the MP10 mold. So the Atmos Convoy has been done a few times. This version has been dubbed duck camo, and I don't know why it's duck camo, but that's what they're calling it. And
duck hunting,
I guess, but I don't get the pink.
They have a shoe. Actually, there's a Nike Duck Hunter camo shoe.
Oh, okay.
The duck camo is just their thing.
Okay. Well, there you go. The pink must be the sole of the shoe, the rubber color.
Yep, I just put a picture of that in the chat.
Oh, did you? Okay, cool. Right on. There it is. So yeah, that's the color of the shoe, and it's been something that they did before. If you remember back, they had a partnership with LeBron James, and they did a recoloring of the MP10 in his shoe color, and it was okay. I don't get the crossover here, but whatever. If you're into shoes and Transformers, I feel bad for your wallet, but yeah, these are some expensive hobbies to be into. Guys, do you have any opinions on either the MP10 duck camo or the add-on for the Studio Series Shockwave? Jeremy?
I think the Shockwave is much more pleasant to the eye than the duck camo.
Mm-hmm.
I like how there's that one picture that shows both of their add-ons on the Shockwave.
Mm-hmm.
The little Cybertronian text, like the movie Cybertronian, nice touch.
Yeah.
If you had that figure, I don't see why you wouldn't want to get these add-ons. They just seem to make it much more impressive. The Optimus, that is just, I'm sure it's not photographing well, like the color, the pink on there, but even if it's a more subdued pink, it's just, that color scheme is just not for me.
Yeah.
I gotta agree with Jeremy. I'm still, I don't understand the like Daryl, like you said, I don't understand the shoe Optimus Prime crossover thing. I don't need my Transformers to match my shoes, but okay. But yeah, particularly these shoes the color scheme for these shoes does not match Optimus Prime. So this is particularly a bad combination. The Shockwave Lab stuff is fine, but I'm already not a fan of that Shockwave. So I think, it's cool that the particularly the blaster has an LED. So that's nice.
Yeah.
But it's a big pass for me on this Shockwave. He had no dialogue in the movie. He didn't even transform. It doesn't look like, does the Studio Series figure? I guess it does transform, but
yeah.
What does it turn into?
Some kind of weird tank thing.
Yeah, okay. But yeah, I'm not a fan of he looks kind of like a Terminator exoskeleton with the rib cage and everything. But we're not here to critique the figure, I guess, but just the add-ons are fine. The sword is cool. The Cybertronian text on it, that's a cool little detail. The LED is cool. So yeah, if you have this figure and you want it enhanced, I think this is a way to go, but I don't want this figure.
Fair enough. That's all I had for us this week, guys. Jeremy, what's in your wallet?
What's in my wallet? Not much lately.
Capital One.
I do have some financial type news. So I guess that's where you were going. Hasbro CEO Brian Goldner was on CNBC earlier last week, and he was discussing stuff about the coronavirus. But he mentioned that he expects their production or their factories to be at full production by the end of, this was last week. I'm wondering if that was affected. Like I recently saw that China's like closed down a bunch of movie theaters again. So I'm not sure if they're still expecting that time frame, but this is more, it looks like a lot of their non-Transformer stuff is in China. The Transformer stuff is in Vietnam. But he also said that there is large demand across the world for their stuff, particularly things like Play-Doh. And, just since people are stuck inside with their kids, they want to give their kids something to play with so they don't have to interact with them. And I can definitely relate. But
ouch to all the kids in the world.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's just some people are off work during all this. I still have to work. So
yeah.
But anyway, he seemed to be optimistic about the future, so I guess that's good. So I guess we'll just keep following this. I don't know if they've said anything about what their Vietnamese factories, like if they have shut down. I assume they have, and what's going on there. But in other news, I have we have images of Newage Toys Legends scaled H13D Hodor, which is a black Starscream, and I think this is a really interesting color scheme. I mean, it looks like parts of them are translucent, so it's kind of like, I don't know, partially ghost, maybe partially dead, but then like other parts, like his torso is all gold. So I don't know. It's just an interesting color scheme. I'm really digging it, and in its legend scale, and it just seems like they're able to do so much at that scale now. And it also includes the coronation kit that came with their regular colored version of this mold. I don't know. I just think this is really interesting. It's definitely something to look out for if there's ever another convention that happens. Daryl, what do you think of this?
It begins. It begins with a single one. So we've gotten the original three. Then we've got the cone heads, the 3 cone heads, and now the repaint onslaught begins. It's a cool color scheme. I'll give you that. It references nothing, but I agree with you. It looks cool as shit. But yeah,
maybe it's a new seeker.
It is. It's Hodor. Hodor. I mean, this is something that we know is coming every single time one of these companies does a seeker mold. Hell, even Hasbro does it. So I'm not surprised. I don't even want to try and fathom the amount of different colored repaints we're going to get out of this mold. But yeah, it looks great. I don't know why it comes with the coronation stuff, maybe just to kind of fill out the price point.
Yeah. The regular one came with that.
Yeah. But yeah, I agree the figure itself, the color scheme looks fantastic.
Yeah. It looks like the coronation kit is colored to match him, like a black cape instead of, I'm assuming it was a purple cape before.
Yes. Yeah.
So that's nice. Normally some of those accessories are just the original ones.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Charles, what are your thoughts on this, this repaint?
This is definitely a unique color scheme. I mean, we do get a lot of repaints for the Seeker molds, but this is very unique. This gold and translucent is, I think it's pretty striking. I wonder why they made it a Game of Thrones reference. Hodor wasn't gold and black in the show.
Is that what
a different spelling?
I've only watched part of episode 1.
Hodor in Game of Thrones was Hodor. This is UR, right?
Okay. So are you saying it's not a reference then?
It may not be.
Okay. Then what is it a reference to?
Hodor is a blind god and son of Odin and Frigg in Norse mythology. which makes sense because it's a repaint of Lucifer.
Oh, okay. Cool.
There you go.
People are going to make the Game of Thrones reference.
Oh, they are. But,
yeah.
you know, this podcast actually does some research with, you know, as they're talking about stuff. Google.
We did after Charles made the Game of Thrones reference.
Well, yeah.
Maybe that was edited out.
Maybe it wasn't.
So now, you know, when people do make that reference, refer them to this episode so we can get it down.
Right. Time codes.
Yep. But yeah, I mean, this is a very cool. I mean, the Seeker design is nice. I mean, it's a third party Seeker design. It is legend scaled. Yeah. So it's neat. But the color scheme does make it very cool, very unique. I mean, this is, you know, there's no. I mean, I guess you could say this is Sunstorm maybe after he, like, I don't know.
Flew too close to the sun?
Maybe. But yeah, I mean, I like that it's its own thing that, you know, especially with the third party, you got to do something unique. And so this color scheme makes it unique, and including the coronation kit still is, you know, you can make it feel like it's a dark Starscream or something. I don't know. Nemesis Starscream.
Even as a ghost, Starscream has to pimp himself up and have a cape and everything.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's all I got. Charles, what do you have this week?
All right. Well, we've got more of the Super 7 reaction Transformers. So these are basically the modern day Action Master figures that are being done by Super 7. And we've got a bunch of new characters. So, you know, we talked about these at Toy Fair. You know, the first wave was kind of the traditional set. Now we've got Grimlock, we've got Shrapnel, Skyfire, a Frumble, I guess. It's blue, the blue guy. And then we've got an additional ones. We've got Alpha Trion, Astro Chain, Mirage, and Shockwave. So I think this is a nice set. I mean, these are more. I mean, I wouldn't call these obscure, but I would call these not the normal Prime, Bumblebee, Megatron, Starscream. So, you know, you're going a little bit further into the G1 character cast. Particularly Alpha Trion is one that I wouldn't expect to see make it into a line like this. He doesn't get a toy very often. So it's nice to see him represented here. But yeah, I mean, these are nice little size figures, not super articulated, but very much in the style of their animation models from the G1 cartoon. And yeah, nice set of these characters. I wonder what more characters are coming down the line after these ones. So, Daryl, what do you think of these guys?
Oh, I think they're great. I mean, I've talked about them before on the show. I've bought two of them. I have the Optimus and the Megatron. The only issue I've got with them are their pricing. They're really expensive. So,
oh yeah.
So, I mean, they're $22 a piece, right? So, yeah, they're pricey. But I will give it to them for producing an Alpha Trion figure, like you were talking about. This is, I'm just looking at the wiki here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This might be the 6th official Alpha Trion figure, counting BotCon, right? Counting the BotCon figure, right? So, I mean, and then they're all going like super weird kind of things. Like the Power of the Primes had an Alpha Trion figure in the little, Pretender suits, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we had one that was in the Takara only that was inside the Ultra Magnus. He was Minimus Ambus here, but he was Alpha Trion for Takara. Yeah. So, I mean, Alpha Trion does not get a figure like ever. So to produce an Alpha Trion is really left field. And I kind of respect him for doing that. And I'll make
we did have the Titans Return triple changer one who turned into a lion and a spaceship.
Right. And then there was one from the BotCon one that was made out of the Nemesis Prime. So yeah, it's not a figure that gets made very often, but I will give it to them that it's the same argument that I gave to the WizKids figures. Alpha Trion is probably not a Wave 2 figure that I would have made, right? I'm glad they made him. Yeah. He's a cool figure, but Wave 2 is early, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, you want to sell this figure, produce something that somebody's going to recognize, especially if you're going to charge $20 for this thing, right? So, yeah, it's cool. I like the figures. Yeah, I've yet to meet somebody or talk to somebody that's buying all of them. Is this a lot, right? Like for first wave, I think there's 6, right? And second wave, I think we've got another 6 here.
We've got 8.
This is definitely targeting the people that go into like the Barnes & Noble type stores and see those. And it's like, oh, hey, I remember that guy, and picks it up. Not the actual Transformers fan.
Yes. Yeah. And I mean, like, other than what I did with the Optimus, other than replacing the Action Master in the Action Master figure, like the vehicle, right? What do you do with these guys? I mean, they're as big as G.I. Joes. They're 3 3/4 inch, right? So, and they do have the peg holes on the feet. So you could put them on G.I. Joe vehicles, right? But bases like Fortress Maximus or Triptychon or bases like that, they weren't scaled properly for this. And they don't have the peg holes for the feet, right? So, I mean, you could mess around with them like that. They're cool. I love the way they look. They're just, the pricing is off, and I don't know, they seem a little weird for the size and scale for what they are. But I mean, I don't know why, but I'm going to probably pick up the Jetfire, just because I like Jetfire, right? And that's probably the niche, and what you were talking about, Charles, is, that's probably where they're going for, right? So yeah. I mean, there are a number of them here that are probably going to hit the nostalgia factor for a lot of people, right? But yeah, it's just it's an interesting line. So yeah, I don't know.
Cool. Jeremy, what did you think of these guys?
I mean, a lot of like what Daryl said. It's not for the regular Transformers collector, but I do. I like what they're doing here, and particularly with the Alpha Trion. I mean, it looks like the cape is soft goods and not hard plastic, and that's impressive that they're putting a lot of work into these, but obviously with the price point, it's not cheap to make, so it's not cheap to buy. But I really like their packaging art. I think they're doing a really good job showing off the figure, and even things like Mirage showing, the box around him and turning invisible. They get the characters. So it's not like just some company trying to make a buck off a franchise. So, I do give them respect for a lot of that. And also with the Frumble, where they really do leave it up to, they label it as Frumble or as Rumble, but the art shows like no pile drivers, no sonic cannons. So it's up to you who you want that guy to be. So, I think they've done a good job. It's just, not for us.
Yep. And it's shrapnel, not scrapnel. So they got that right.
Yeah, well, they got that name back. It's got a trademark by it.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, so
Great.
Good on you, Hasbro.
This is a question for our legal expert, Jeremy. Would this count as as Hasbro retaining the license or then using the name for that duration if they're not making, say, an Alpha Trion figure, right? So, if somebody else is making it,
it's you. Well, they're using it under license by Hasbro, so effectively Hasbro is using the mark in commerce, which is what the trademark requirement is.
Okay. Well, then maybe that's what it is, right? They've got a plan to use Alpha Trion coming up, but they don't want the trademark to expire on it, so they need to pump out a figure. So they said, okay, well, and Super 7, we need you to make an Alpha Trion figure.
Something like this is very low risk.
Yeah.
On Hasbro's part, at least.
Okay, well, maybe that's it.
And they also they use the Skyfire instead of a Jetfire name for that figure too.
Well, it seems like they're going for an animation style, right? So
yeah. Cool. All right, well that's all our toy topics, so we will move on to trips to the store. This is where we show off all the amazing Transformers merchandise we got this week. We do this as a video that we can show on YouTube so you can see everything we got in beautiful high definition. But we put the audio right here so you can listen to us describe everything in loving detail as well. So continue to listen to the podcast and then pop over to YouTube to see our smiling faces and all the nice little toys we got. So without further ado, trips to the store.
The Transmissions Podcast will return after these messages.
All right, let's talk about some of the stuff we got this week. It's a little bit hard. I mean, we've got social isolation, sheltering in place, so not a lot of opportunities to get out to the store. So not a whole lot of stuff to pick up this week. Not even to the comic shop, so we didn't even get our comics this week. So, we're trying, but it's hard for everyone. I have just one little thing. This was totally just a impulse buy of opportunity when at the Target yesterday. I picked up a Smashdown. This is one of the Battle Masters from the War for Cybertron Siege. This is a Minotaur who turns into a hammer. So I thought it was cool.
Did you not have one of those yet?
I did not have one of these. No.
Oh, okay.
My Target is very sparse with the Earthrise, or not the Earthrise, the War for Cybertron figures. So they don't their stock doesn't get refreshed very often. So I was just lucky to find this guy. So he's cool. I haven't.
Can't even blame the virus on that.
No, it's just my Target is terrible with my
all Target.
Yeah, Transformer stock is very hard. It's very difficult there, but yeah, Smashdown. I just like the fact that you've got he's a Minotaur. That's a unique alt mode. So cool. And Daryl, what do you got this week?
Well, I don't have a fancy hat. That's what I don't have. Jeremy sporting a fancy hat.
Yeah, I had an Atari 2600 back in the day. I still have it up in my attic.
I don't have any Transformer stuff, so I just.
So would have been last week sometime. We got a message on the Discord from Quattro, our good friend Quattro, who mentioned that Toys R Us Canada was having a sale on Siege Jetfire. And I thought, you know what? That looks like a pretty good sale. He's regular $120 here in Canada, but they had him on for $50. So, yeah, I did go in and get one.
Nice.
He's a
Very
big
cool.
boy. Yeah, he's a big boy. He comes with a lot of guns, a bunch of the little blast parts. Each one of those is 3 pieces, so you get 6 pieces. Actually, I think he has more blast effects than Omega Supreme. So I could be wrong, but it seems like a lot. But he's pretty awesome. I like him. He's got the chest bit that comes off like that. He's got a face mask that is actually a pain in the butt to get off, but comes off like that. And all of these little guns and stuff, they all come off, right? So again, you can reduce them down to basically just a regular old Jetfire. He looks good, big, and he's not as big as the Fan Toys one, because I still got him sitting right here from last week, just to do a little quick comparison. So that's them side by side.
Nice.
But yeah. Oh no. The one of the blast effects came apart. They don't stick too well together, but yeah, anyway, they're cool and can go on anywhere. So yeah. But yeah, he's pretty cool. That is the only thing that I got this week. It just shipped in. Everything's coming in via mail now, so might as well ship some stuff in that I've never had before. Still looking for a couple things, but I think everyone else is looking for them too. So yeah, I'll keep my eyes out for some more stuff, but hopefully next week I'll have some comics to talk about. That's it. That's all I have this week.
Cool.
Jetfire.
That's a great figure. It sounds like you got a great deal on it. So that's very cool.
Yeah, it was a good deal. Thanks again to Quattro.
Nice.
We now return to the Transmissions Podcast.
Okay, we're back from our trips to the store, and that will do it for this episode of Transmissions. Thanks, everyone, for listening, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Later.
Hey everyone, thanks for listening to this episode of Transmissions. But just because this episode is over doesn't mean the Transformers fun has to stop. Join us and other Transformers fans on our Discord chat server by visiting transmissionspodcast.com/discord. If you would like to learn more about how you could support the Transmissions Podcast, just visit transmissionspodcast.com/support. Thank you all for listening, and we'll see you again next week.